a perfect outcome to all things is assured. Yeah, a perfect outcome to all things is assured. Yeah, I'm getting stronger every day because my faith leads the way. A perfect outcome to all things is assured. In every situation, there's a blessing somewhere. Come gather, brothers and sisters, and we'll see that it is there. Ooh, I need you, and you need me. Yes, you do. And that's how our happiness is guaranteed.
We're going to talk about that tonight, actually.
Take it, boys.
And now, in all your doings, be you blessed. Through you is ushered in a world unseen, unheard, yet truly there. Holy are you, and in your light, the world reflects your holiness. For you are not alone and friendless. I give thanks for you, and join your efforts on behalf of God, knowing that they are on my behalf as well, and for all those who walk to God with us.
Sing it with me. A perfect outcome to all things is assured. A perfect outcome to all things is assured. I'm getting stronger every day because my faith leads the way. A perfect outcome to all things is assured. A perfect outcome to all things, yeah, is assured.
Wee doggy!
All right. One more time.
One more time. Hey, y'all, what a fun Sunday.
Happy Sunday.
Remember, if you're not in the sanctuary at 4:45, you really ought to drop by.
Because
I know, because
there
you
are
never
moments
know.
of delight. The pre-show around here is amazing.
It truly is. Sina was playing some great music, and we were dancing and cutting up. It was just awesome. It was totally fun.
Mm-hmm.
Totally fun day. Oh, thanks for being here, Sina. We love you.
Wow.
Connie, we love you.
So if,
Ellen's over there somewhere. Say hi to Ellen.
I know.
Yeah.
So also
Tina, Ron, everybody. And to all of those that might be listening later on YouTube or on the radio now, I want to mention this because earlier today, I think it was No. It was one of the it was one of the interviews we were watching, and I did not know this lady, but she said she got involved with Awakening Together from just listening on the radio, and she mentioned Connie, saying, "This is going out to all you in Radio Land," you know, and
a long time ago.
This was on
radio,
Pal Talk, I think she said. And she was listening to Connie and Jacqueline, and Connie said, like, "This is going out to all y'all on Radio Land," and she was like, "Well, that's me," you know. I forgot her name. Could you type her name in the chat, Sina? I forgot her name. She was lovely. I don't think I've ever met her before, but Christy. Oh, okay. She was lovely. Yeah, so that was fun. We've had a great day with y'all already. And we've got some cool things to share with you today, which have been really, this has been a glorious week for me.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
love this.
honey.
No, we love this.
We have had such a glorious week. There's a lot I want to share.
Yesterday, the only thing if just on the other, before we move to the next chapter, goes, if for all those that in Radio Land, the color today is orange. Okay, So if you want, if you put a visual together, we're little bumblebees here.
Yeah, we're doing orange
for you.
So, yesterday we had the great fortune of having an Awakening Together gathering here in the New York City
yes.
area. Marisol invited us over to her house, and Lynn Castaldo was there. So we got to meet Marisol and her family. And
Lynn Castaldo does not live with Marisol.
No. But we had our picture
Just
taken.
to be clear.
And we're going to attempt to show it to you.
Yeah, proof that, yeah.
Here we are. Oh no, look at that.
All right, that's not very clear, is it?
No, you can see it pretty good. It's not bad. We'll put it later.
Yeah, whatever.
It was pretty good.
Proof we have legs. We were. That was the first thing that I said to Lynn when she walked in the door. He goes, "Oh my God, she has legs." I know. Because we sit in these rooms, I make whole relationships with the torso, with it's not like a regular meeting of anything like that, It's like, oh, I'm only, nobody else in our encounters does this. It's just an odd thing.
It is odd, and we love it, and it's so much fun, and we were so fortunate to be able to get together like that. So every time we come into a room full of Awakening Together folks, we are just so at home. We just feel so good about being with y'all. So I know you want to share some stuff. One thing more sure. I wanted to share was kind of wait till Jacqueline came in, but so I may share it later. But Connie, you're here, and it happened during this past Tuesday for me. With you and Jacqueline sharing on Tuesday night, and right before you started sharing, she played that song by the Beatles called "Because." Do you guys remember that? Were you in the room? Oh my goddess! I just about fell apart.
She lost her mind.
I lost my mind. It is the most beautiful song, and I remember sitting in my room as a kid because I loved the Beatles, and actually I learned how to sing from listening to the Beatles and their harmonies, and I remember that song, and I remember distinctly that I would sit there and play that song over and over and over again, and I was probably like in 3rd or 4th grade, and I just had forgotten about it, and then Jacqueline brought it back into my consciousness. And it's so amazing because the words are so simple, and it has been with me all week, and I'm just going to share what the words are. Let's see. Oh, because the world is round, it turns me on. And then it just does this beautiful floating, ah. And then the next line is, because the wind is high, it blows my mind. And it's just been like, oh my goodness, my mind has been blown since Tuesday. Hi Patricia, so glad you're joining us. So I'm walking around at the grocery store, and I'm all
out of mind. And
all that's happening in here is, because the world is round, that's all that's happening in here. I'm not criticizing anyone. I'm not doing anything to anybody. I'm not being anything other than in this miraculous space that we all really truly do live in, just being in wonder and enjoyment of life itself, So that was truly a gift, Connie, and we had such a good time with y'all that night and everything you shared, but that really, in wonder, absolutely. Thank you, Patricia. That's really how it was. And so I'm still singing it. Like yesterday I woke up and it was still in my mind. I know. We're going to share a different song for you, but first...
I promise not to.
But first we're going to do the lessons, right? You want to do the lessons?
It's very, very cool, because you guys are such good course students. I know you're doing the lessons every day. You read your 12.8 pages every week, and You know, I know, but you'll find yourself, because the text, the lessons were written first and the text was written later, so the text actually flows along with the lessons. So it actually moves us through the lessons in a lot greater detail. So the short of it is begins, I rule my mind, which I alone must rule.
That's lesson 236.
236.
If you're in the work.
So it's like, oh, I rule my mind, which I it's like, so because this lesson 236 is the beginning, is the real turn in the Course in Miracles, when we begin to take, not only begin to take real responsibility of choice in our life, right? But we begin to see what is ours to do in the world, and we take responsibility for it. It becomes delightful. It's something that's interesting to do.
Yes.
Now would I be as God created me, right?
The next lesson
237. Is 237 is, now would I be as God created me, right? Because that's my mission. It's like, I want to be just as God created me. I want to let go of the artifice, the things that don't work, the things that aren't real, however we talk about them. Now I would be as God created me. Well, and that sounds great. But that means letting go of the pieces of me that I think are me. And that often doesn't feel great.
Yeah.
So it's moving us back into the world, or into what we are to do in the world, and seeing the world in a different place without the identification. Okay? 238. On my decision, all salvation rests. I'm choosing to re-engage the illusion in the dream, or I'm choosing to look at what is mine to do and the blocks to my ability to do that.
Wow, look at the first line of the prayer.
I know.
Father, your trust in me has been so great, I must be worthy. You created me and know me as I am.
That the other side of that coin is this sense of, I'm in the right place at the right time because I know what it's mine to do, and I'm here now with it doing my thing. The solidity and joy of that. On my decision, all salvation rests. Right? Because on my decision is how it gets messed up. Right? I'm the one who's choosing not to enjoy the abundance of peace and joy, and then this already right here. Of course it's my decision, because I'm the one jumping out of the moment. Right?
Truly.
So then it goes to 239. This is where we're at. The glory of my Father is my own. That's how it feels to do what is yours to do all the time. Right? Let not the truth about ourselves be hidden by a false humility. Let us instead be thankful for the gifts our Father has given us, right?
Yeah.
You've got things to do. You're created in this very specific, odd way. We all know it. You are created very odd, in an odd way.
He's talking about himself and me.
Because aren't you oddly specific? Aren't you like rare, like a rare thing? Aren't you?
Says, yes.
There's no other. You don't have any other fingerprints than anybody else. All of this stuff, your DNA, all this, right? You're put together in a really unusual way. 7 to 10% of the weight of your body is other creatures. What
do you mean, like bacteria?
Bacteria and things that are in your stuff, and the spider mites that live on your skin, and in your eyebrows, and all that stuff like that.
People, I know. Rhonda's like, what? What are you talking about?
So you can't do any of this by yourself. You can't do any of this. We're not alone. Like the things you're not alone for this. So realizing that is like, oh. The realization of that is the glory of my Father is my own. And you're like going, oh my God, I'm the whole damn thing. I'm not over here on my own trying to fit in. I'm the glory itself. And it's like, oh, I know how to act then. Like, not afraid. It's like, things are going to work out, right?
Yeah, go ahead, Tina.
No, we were all singing. You were frozen, honey. We missed you. I don't know what part he stopped at. You guys remember what was the word?
Oh, we got frozen. Okay.
We were frozen.
Not sure. He was on a stream of consciousness there.
I don't know.
But what I gathered from what came to me
She heard it.
what came to me while you were talking was the oneness, as Patricia or Sina pointed out, in wonder, the oneness that we are with all living beings. So I know it's kind of weird to think about your body being, shared with other microorganisms and things like that. But
They're necessary.
But when you actually investigate it, it is true, and it's odd. It does. You don't think of. I didn't think of myself that way. My body in particular. But even our body is in the oneness. Even though we're not our body, it's still connected to.
The closer you look, it says it's one with everything.
It's one
because
with everything.
can't exist without being, the reason why the food works in your body is because you're related to it, right? The reason why you can absorb the molecules and stuff is because you're related to it, and we're all inside the same system. Right,
that's what I think is really.
It's
cool.
Like, I'm part. There's part of me that knows what an apple is and what to do with an apple because part of me is apple, right?
We are
like
one with the apple.
It's like, that's how,
Regina did that.
What?
She saw herself as an apple. That's really interesting. You should say that.
Wow. I've never heard that story.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. That was a big moment for Regina when she saw herself as an apple. Wow, this is cool. We are one with everything,
including apples. So this glory is that sense we've got. So I wanted to tomorrow's lesson I wanted to get to, and then we're
wonderful.
Fear is not justified in any form, right? Because that's when you've jumped ship, right? Is when you're afraid, when you're beginning to lose your mind, you're out of the moment and you're seeing wrong, right? If I'm upset, I'm wrong, right? So that if all that's happened, it's like you're in the wrong system, you're in the wrong paradigm, you've jumped ship somewhere along the line. You don't have to figure it out. We need to get back to now.
Yeah.
Right? Don't shoot the other arrow and saying, oh, I'm such a blah, blah, blah for doing blah, blah. Don't shoot the other arrow. Go, wow, look how good I am at fighting it and how fast it was this time. Right?
Very good. Yeah, actually, yes. No, but I mean, that's wisdom. But when I do that kind of thing, actually, it's because I realize that I've experienced that, it's like, I have experienced that.
So in today's lesson, as I'm sure you've already all read, is a message, the phrase resting in his everlasting arms. And when I looked up the words to, anybody else remember that old hymn, leaning on the everlasting arms? Or is that just my own hip? George?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
George
Somebody. So, yeah, Connie remembers.
Rana,
okay, good.
Connie,
Good.
Sina,
So, we looked at the words, and they're pretty good.
They're really good.
So, we're gonna try to sing. So, we're gonna put the words in the thing and have that as our sing along. You wanna sing a hymn from 1897, 1887, I think. Yes.
All right,
Okay.
here we go. Hold on. What? Let me just copy it here.
Okay.
Thank you. And then let me just put it in the chat. The chat's right here. Okay. Okay. There you go. All right. There you go.
So if you want to sing along, the lyrics are in the chat.
In the chat.
You don't have to keep them in the chat. You can copy them out and put them in whatever format you like to sing along.
Scoot over a little bit, honey. There we go. All right. What a fellowship, what a joy divine, leaning on the everlasting arms. What a blessedness, what a peace is mine, leaning on the everlasting arms.
have I to dread?
What have I to fear? Leaning on the everlasting arms, I have blessed peace with my Lord so near. Leaning on the everlasting arms. Safe and secure from all alarms. Leaning on the everlasting arms.
That was fun.
Oh. That was fun.
I know you can almost smell the pew polish. You know, that pew wax that I have on the you know, almost smell it. Yeah.
It's just fun to revisit,
Beeswax.
you know, things that you've learned previously with a new perspective.
Yeah.
It really
Yeah.
is.
The words are good.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah. Let's see what we got here.
Bravo.
Oh, thank you,
Yay.
Patricia. Thank you. So, we're going to do our breath and our little moment of meditation prayer. And then we're going to play a meditation song that I wrote called So in God's Hands, which sort of blends in with this theme of resting in God's arms.
I know.
Yeah.
If you taking a walk, you know,
Yeah.
holding hands,
Yeah.
getting a hug, who does that for you?
Yeah.
You know,
So sweet.
family, right?
Here we go. With each breath we take, we become grounded. And we know that we're right here, right now, in this awakening together sanctuary, where we are currently at this moment co-creating a circle of unconditional love that includes everything that we like and everything that we do not like. Bring it all in, as Rumi says, with open arms, for you never know which delight is going to come next. You know, if it's an unwelcome guest, they may clean you out for some new surprise. So with every delightful breath that we take, we know that we are leaning on the everlasting arms, and we are so in God's hands. Blessed be, and so it is. Om Bhuvasvaha Tatavito Varenyam Bargo Devasya Dhimahi Dio Yona Prachodaya. Om Bhuvasvaha Tatavito Varenyam Bargo So in God's hands, and now I feel wonderful. So in God's hands, and now I feel wonderful, beautiful. So in God's hands, and now I feel wonderful. So in God's hands, now I feel wonderful, beautiful. So in God's hands, and now I feel wonderful. So in God's hands, and now I feel wonderful,
She's got the whole world in her hands. She's got the whole wide world in her hands. She's got the whole world in her hands. She's got the whole world in her hands. She's got every living being in her hands. She's got every living being in her hands. She's got every living being in her hands. She's got all of us in her. Now I feel wonderful, beautiful in her hands. Now I feel wonderful in her hands. Now I feel wonderful, beautiful in her hands. Now I feel wonderful. She's got us in her hands, yeah. Oh, resting in her arms. Oh, yeah. She's got us in her hands. Oh, Jema, wonderful, beautiful Jema. So in God's hands, now I feel wonderful. So in God's hands, now I feel wonderful, beautiful. Dio Yona Prachodaya Om Bhavasvaha Tatavito Varenyam Bargo Devasya Dhimahi Dio Yona
Yay. Trippy, right? Trippy.
Oh,
I
I'm so glad
know.
you liked it. Thank you. Hey, Jacqueline. Oh, goodness. You'll have to, Jacqueline, you'll have to ask Connie, but I did a whole opening tome on last Tuesday when you played Because. I have not been able to release that song.
She hasn't.
It's just hypnotic. And so I created this video with all of that in my heart and everything like that. It's amazing. Yeah, I just did this video this week and I've been singing Because all week. So it's just been really incredible. So wonderful. So, in case you didn't know, every Wednesday night, me and Glenn do A Course in Miracles in-depth study online. not in the sanctuary, but in a different room. And if you'd ever like to join us, you certainly can. Just email me at yolanda@yolanda.net. My email address again is yolanda@yolanda.net.
Because we go through it every year, and read it and look at it every year, because we change every year, right?
We do.
It worth, I was saying that this reminds me a lot when people say in AA someone's been rewriting the big book. Ever heard anybody say that? Like their spiritual text has been being written. Of Course in Miracles is somewhat like that for me. Every time I come at it, there's a new. I see something that maybe I didn't do, which is the more integral. Because I'm an integral, we spiral on these same themes in our lives over and over and over again. That's why it's very important to want to be you, right? Because these patterns are yours and they're going to happen to you. So you wanting to be there is I call requisite one, right? Because a lot of us don't want the lives we have, right? We don't want the lives we have. We don't want the bodies we have. We don't want anything we have. The prerequisite is first of all, to want to be here, to want what you want to find, and that is going on the journey. That what gets us to chapter 19. It's like, what are you to do in the world? How do you fit in? What's the jazz? What the things that beats your heart, right? Well, what happens is we find out that what is ours to do. We need other people.
Awakening,
and that's why it's awakening together. And I called our group before awakening together. I called our group the Fellowship of Awakening. How funny is that?
Our Wednesday night group.
How funny is that? It's called the Fellowship of Awakening.
That we've been doing for 15 years. It's so funny.
So this is like, and I've been teaching on Pal. I've been teaching on Pal Talk since it's been gone since its inception.
Since
we've been on
back in the day.
So.
Hi, Arizona.
And I've been teaching the same book. I go through the same thing every single year, and I've never taught it in the same exact way. There's a reason for that, because because the course doesn't change, because the truth doesn't change. What changes? Me and how I can see it, how well I see it. So that's it. I come back, so it works. Chapter 20. It was chapter 20, right?
I think around 19. No, 20.
20.
Here we go.
20. Yeah.
So let me finish saying what I wanted to say about our Wednesday night, because just in case you might like this.
So
Glenn,
I just want to say the final thing was, so even if you've done, the point was, even if you've done A Course in Miracles a lot, and even if you understand A Course in Miracles a lot, it bears going back and looking at.
Absolutely.
From another perspective. Yeah. That's all.
Yeah, sure. Well, I was just going to say that Glenn creates a booklet every week, and that's what we share with you on Sundays. And it has, sometimes we share a picture and stuff. That's the picture that we share is from that booklet. So anyway, if you happen to want the booklet that Glenn does every week, it's kind of cool. What I read to you on Sundays is just the highlighted portions that we work with. And if you happen to want it, just send me an email and I'll put you on the list. Doesn't mean you have to, come on Wednesday if you don't want to, but sometimes the booklet is really cool, to have just as a study guide.
I'll pull out the points and kind of make
comments
and
things.
Plus support for it. So if you find yourself in chapter 20, what we on this journey with what is ours to do and getting jazzed and excited about what ours to do, what we find out is it involves other people.
Yeah.
Right. This realization that we're one with all beings. It comes with all beings. So, oops, we slipped and fell in it. We wanted to be separate and thought because our strategy before this was to be as separate and as independent as possible so that we didn't get hurt, right? The opposite of that is we're all in this together because there is no other. And to learn how to act like it. Well, that acting like it is what I like to call in chapter 20. She's talking about group cohesion. She's talking about how to behave in a group, how to work with the others that are marching in the same direction that you're marching, that you're going and moving and working in, the field that you're working in, things that you're going to be doing. Because you believe me, when you get turned on with what you're going to do, you're going to start heading in that direction. You're going to find out that there's other people that go in that direction too. You know, you
Yeah.
can't get away from it. You're not going to get away from anybody. You're not going to do it yourself in any way. So the problem becomes, how well do you manage yourself in a group? Do you know what a group is? Do you know what the group is for? Do you know how to avoid pitfalls about getting into a group and getting your goals getting stolen from you? By the ego, by, managing for the wrong things, right? How do we get and be a part of groups and conduct ourselves in ways that we need other people? We know we want to collaborate with other people because I don't know everything, you don't know everything. Together, everything gets known and we get moved forward and build the world we want. Well, that means that I have to be able to know and trust and work with others with my limited knowledge and your limited knowledge. We all have to create this other thing in order to believe in for it all to work. Right? And that's the goal we have, right? Because the goal I have so that's where we are. Really looking at why we do what we want to do with others and how we participate with others in meeting their goals, because we want to help others, because others are helping us. We're a cooperative component. This is the world we're moving into, in which we don't have competing goals with other people. Do you lose because somebody else wins? No, we're in a new paradigm, right? We've shifted that old paradigm of competition. We're in a new paradigm, so we know that when we make decisions where everybody wins, that's how we're going to do. So in order to be able to do that, one, we really need to be able to be paying attention to what is ours to do and not do what isn't ours to do, right? Because it's real tempting to say, I know better what you need to do, and start managing other people, right? So there's all kinds of ways in which we get off track when we get in this group setting. So I give you this preference because she calls this group setting, she calls the group adhesion this thing that we move through the world with, and she goes through later different kinds of groups, and we won't go into that today, but she calls that a temple. She calls that your friend group a temple.
Like we call this the sanctuary when we come in here.
That's the way, the feeling tone that she wants us to be in and feel like when we're with all those other beings that we want to be happy all the time. The low-cost homo-star beings. So with that in mind, let's look at that.
The low-cost homo-star.
Well, that's what you say. Low-cost homo-star Sakita Bhavantu Sakita. May all beings be happy and free, and may they be released from what causes their suffering. See, the rest of that thing is, may they release the causes of their suffering. See, we don't want, because if I free you, you keep trapping yourself, right? What if, like somebody did for me, help me get free, so I don't keep trapping myself?
Right, so you see it.
That's what it's about, right?
Yeah.
And that was the 2 lanterns thing from last week. You hold up your lantern so I can see in front of me, and I'll hold up my lantern so you can see in front of you. That's how it works, because we're the same being. It has to work, and I have to believe that your lantern is being held up. I'm not going to hold up my lantern after you hold up yours. It doesn't work that. The world will tell you it does work that way, but it really, you know this, it doesn't work that way. It just doesn't work that way. Not if you want regular, reliable results. And the results are your happiness. The result is you being able to do what you want to do. So,
all right.
So thinking about this idea of a temple.
All right, so we are in A Course in Miracles, chapter 20. It happens to be called The Vision of Holiness, and we're in section 6, which is called The Temple of the Holy Spirit. And we're going to start paragraph 1. And here we go. The meaning of the Son of God lies solely in his relationship with his Creator. Yet has the Son of God invented an unholy relationship between him and his Father. Nothing can show the contrast better than the experience of both a holy and an unholy relationship. Love wishes to be known. It walks in sunlight, open-eyed and calm, in smiling welcome, and in sincerity so simple and so obvious It cannot be misunderstood.
So we're wearing orange. We're wearing the sun. We're wearing the sun. We want, that's what you want to be.
And
like,
so is Arizona.
right?
Look, she's got orange on her head. Yeah.
Orange is the color today. So the first thing she wants to contrast is please recognize a holy relationship versus an unholy relationship. And she contrasts them pretty well. A holy relationship has meaning in it, because that's what we're looking for. We're looking to be a part of it. What we do matter, right? That's the dilemma. She goes, the holy relationship is all there is. The holy relationship is perfect union. The holy relationship is unbroken continuity. The unholy relationship is self-encompassing and self-extending. Okay, self-encompassing, I'm enough, and self-extending, all of it's enough. Based on love, the body doesn't intrude on it. It doesn't limit it either. The body does not intrude on it in a holy relationship. It wishes to be known, to be understood, and to be shared. It has no secrets. That sounds like a really healthy relationship. That's who you want to be in a group with, right? Unholy relationship is a relationship that doesn't contain meaning. It's partial, meaning some people know things and other people don't. It's self-centered. It's full of fear. It's self-destructing and self-limiting. It uses the body as an idol, and it wishes to be apart and separate, or above or below, or, separated out. That's an unholy relationship. And we've been in both of those kind of groups. We've seen both of those things manifest in groups that we've been a part of, right? And we've seen that in our own lives. She goes, that is how you recognize these two. They're feeling tones, and we know the difference. Keep going.
Well, I want to mention that we've only got 15
I know.
minutes because so I think we should skip ahead to a little further.
All right,
just go.
Let me give you the points.
Yeah.
So the two, and then she goes on to describe the two temples. The two temples are where we want to put them inside of a relationship, or we want to put them in a body, right? Do I want to identify as an us and a we and the wholeness, or do I want to identify as a material object? And she says the body, this body that you think you are, this place that you want to locate yourself, cannot love you back. This is a meaningless relationship. This body doesn't actually see or feel or hear. That is what you do with the information that you get from it. The body is something, and its ideas, and what we think about it is often a secret life. The body is the secret. It gets unknowable. It's a black hole often. And then it becomes mine and something separate. And the body is there to sort of collect other bodies. Things. Right? It's there to collect other things. And the body has obscure and hidden rituals. If you've ever watched a beautiful woman put on and take off makeup.
Oh, you mean like me?
Like
Hello.
these rituals, these rituals that we perform with our bodies and things like that,
We love them.
And this unholy relation, and the temple as a body creates power over dynamics. So that's the basis of power over dynamics, the belief in ourselves as bodies, because what would you need power over another body for if you weren't also a body? It's claiming that paradigm as your identity.
I see that.
Right? So that's a group mistake. That's a mistake that we make in not identifying with and not making a decision from a sense of wholeness and a sense of we and us-ness. And then she introduces the idolater. The idolater is our ego, or the thing that we place actually in front of doing what is ours to do. And we learned about this last week with the obstacles to peace. They're guilt, pain, death, and the fear of God. Guilt being managing a personality, pain being managing a body, managing emotions, for this endocrine system, managing death, which is like our reputation and all of this, and then the fear of God, this fear of joining. The body can't, this body and things in the world that we can see and feel and touch can never be the seat of love. It's not. And we're afraid that that happens. So when we don't identify with, when we identify with material things, we become really fearful because we inherently understand that things have a beginning, a middle, and an end.
That's true. Yeah.
And she says, please stop making your identity around the condition of external objects. Making your happiness the condition of external objects. That's a really ridiculous way to form a group or to run your life. And the reminder here is, for groups to work very, very well, they require radical equality. Right? That's what we say in the, it goes, everybody's
Equal.
has equal.
Yeah.
In Awakening
One of our
Together.
core values.
That's one of our core
Yeah.
values.
Yeah.
This radical equality, right? Because God isn't speaking through one of us. Because God isn't one of us. See what I mean? This group relationship, this what we demonstrate in these rooms here is very real. And she puts the holy instant and the holy relationship together. The holy instant is it's the seeming power of idols, meaning that the things actually do have inherent meaning. You know, they do. That's the unholy instant. It's the seeming power of idols, and that. But she says, don't fret even over this, because these idols are like snowflakes, right? You can't see through them. You just can't see through them.
You can see through them as if it's a snowflake.
Well, you can. That's how weak the illusion is, right?
Right.
Be aware of yourself and what joining with others in the attraction of things, bonding or doing stuff around the attraction of things. And the holy instant is to be bitterly misunderstood. It's to be invested in false attraction.
That's the unholy instant.
Right. So she's compared to this the holy instant where we're all here. This holy is there's eternal blessing. So already there's action here. It's living. There's an action stare. She's and the course is unlimited beneficence. Right. You get to be wrong and wrong and wrong and wrong and wrong until you get it right. How generous is that? There's peace and understanding, which is what we're really what's that feeling tone of being satisfied. She calls this a retraction and an attraction to reality. And she says that is your real relationship, this attraction to reality. She says this attraction to reality is true relationship, is holy relationship. And this is where the comment from the everlasting arms came in.
Yeah.
Here the unholy instant is exchanged in gladness for the holy one of safe return. Here is the way to true relationships, held gently open, through which you walk together, leaving the body thankfully behind and resting in the everlasting arms. Love's arms are open to receive you and give you peace forever. That's the holy instant. That's what the holy instant feels like. It feels like coming home. It feels like finally settling down. It's like, oh, peace and understanding. It's like the breath of fresh air when you close, all those scenes where the single girl closes the door at her apartment. She leans up against the back and she goes, oh, finally home. That cliche. The body is the ego's idol. Okay, that's where we keep confusing. We keep confusing this management of what we need to, of what we're doing. So read this last bit here, and because we're almost done.
Yeah. Which part do you want? This here?
The body is
Okay.
11 and 12.
All right. So we're actually now on paragraph 11, and it goes like this: the body is the ego's idol, the belief in sin made flesh and then projected outward. This produces what seems to be a wall of flesh around the mind, keeping it prisoner.
Sound familiar?
Yeah. And this unholy instant seems to be life. And here he is more dead than living. Here he can accept the holy instant offered him to replace the unholy one he chose before. And here can he learn relationships are his salvation and not his doom.
Relationships are the salvation, not your
my
doom.
doom. In paragraph 12, you who are learning this may still be fearful,
It is.
but you are not immobilized. Wow, this sentence really speaks to me. You who are learning this may still be fearful,
No, because relationships, man.
but you are not immobilized. This is no time for sadness, perhaps confusion, but hardly discouragement. You have a real relationship and it has meaning. It is as like your real relationship with God as equal things are like unto each other. Idolatry is past and meaningless. Perhaps you fear your brother a little yet. Perhaps a shadow of the fear of God remains with you. Yet what is that to those who have been given one true relationship beyond the body?
Okay. She puts the dilemma like this, that we're imprisoned. We think the dilemma is that we're imprisoned in this wall of flesh. Right? And that makes a choice. We either have idolatry or love. We either have the body and making things pretty and a symbol of things and never getting the thing, or we have choose the thing, choose love. The solution, she says, is relationships, because they hold the door open to your imprisoned mind that thinks that you're a body and you've got to manage your personality and you got to manage for this endocrine system and you got to run away from death and look like young and pretty all day. The solution is relationships, that you have a real relationship, she says, and it's not with the imprisoned mind inside that paradigm that you think you are. It isn't the personality that you think that we are. To experience God, to experience reality, she says, it's in a relationship with other beings. It's in a relationship with what is, with being present. It's in the holy instant, where we all are. So this is what I wrote. The holy instant and the holy relationship are merging into the same experience for us. They're finding out that we are finding out that we cannot know ourselves or anyone unless we are present to the living awareness that is creating this experience. It's a new attitude. We have a wildly specific purpose in the here and now. Turns out the holy instant is full of us. It's where the power and the creativity that blooms and creates is found. We're not doing anything alone. The temptation is to slip back to sleep and think that we're fixing the condition of things, when we're creating the conditions, when what we could be doing is create the conditions for what we want to appear. This is a collective action, one of togetherness. It can be difficult to trust people, but it begins with becoming radically present to our own learning devices and practicing radical equality with all beings that we encounter. And so it wouldn't surprise you to hear me say I'm Reverend Glenn Morton Ganaway, your favorite anarchist preacher. And this is the love of my life, the Reverend Yolanda. And remember to listen to the voice that likes you. She will tell you that we are one, and she will tell you how to act like it. That's what I love to say.
And that is true.
But I love. So there's a temple of your friend group. There's a temple of your family group. There's a temple of what we have together. In every relationship, we create a temple. God is more present when we're can help each other see the conditions for its presence. Because it doesn't go anywhere, we go somewhere, right? And others can help us be more present. And we can do the same for others by creating the conditions in our own minds for its flourishing. And we'll all do that in really specific ways. Like nobody wears a hat like me, you know. So it's important that you're you. That's how weirdly important this is. That we were talking about authenticity earlier. This authenticity is the expression of that relationship. Oh, I get to. What am I? If I can be authentic, what is it really saying? I'm safe wherever I go. Right? I'm me wherever I go. What have people been fighting for their whole entire lives? Just to like walk down the street or whatever, every caste or whatever. It's really. So the question becomes always, what? Who am I? Because the only thing that's going to really satisfying is the authentic expression of that, right? Because we know how to fake it. Did you ever put on somebody else's personality? It's called acting, right? You ever put on somebody else's personality? It's like we can do that. I know people that are like scary good imitators. Do you have a friend that's like really, really good can imitate you or imitate other people? It's wild, you know, how much we don't pay attention, and how really authentic and unique and beautiful that we all are. So with that, with that notion, please stay tuned. We've got a great
beautiful
night
evening
for you. Yeah.
So love y'all. Love
Stay tuned.
us.
Stay
love
tuned.
the
Stay
sanctuary.
tuned. Yeah.
See you next
And
Sunday.
don't forget to sweep your temple.
Oh.